This module focuses on the didactic paths that arise from the perspective of inclusion, whose theoretical key concepts have been presented in the previous modules. Let's start by outlining special pedagogy as a discipline. Special pedagogy concerns the education of people who present diversities on an individual or social level due to learning disorders, behavior disorders, or integration issues. The aim of special pedagogy is to support the formation of people with disabilities or special needs, to enhance their capacities, to give them the opportunity to better express their potential, increasing their quality of life. We can distinguish three types of didactics based on their features. By general didactics, we refer to the didactics that does not take into account inclusion. It's the didactics that existed before inclusion emerged as a fundamental theme in education. By inclusive didactics, we refer to didactics that aim at guaranteeing individualization and personalization throughout specific tools and methods. We're going to see what individualization and personalization mean in a moment. Inclusive didactics aims at supporting all students, welcoming their differences in terms of learning styles and capacities, helping them develop their inner talent in equity and acknowledgement. By special didactics, we refer to didactics designed for students with disabilities or special needs. Such didactics is still implemented in an inclusive perspective, meaning that its tools and methods can provide a benefit for all students, regardless of their abilities. Let's make an example. Think about maps as a supporting visual tool for learning. In general didactics, a teacher is not interested in using maps to help their students. They will be using the support they prefer regardless of what is most useful for the classroom. In special didactics, maps are a fundamental tool for people with specific learning disorders, like dyslexia, for instance. They can be a compensatory tool. In inclusive didactics, maps could be used for all students. Indeed, they could be useful for other students, not only those with special needs, if they have a visual learning style, for instance. We mentioned earlier how inclusive didactics is based on individualization and personalization. Guaranteeing these two processes can help create an inclusive context, which can lead to the growth and formation of all students. Let's unfold these concepts. Individualized activities aim at strengthening or acquiring specific abilities or competencies for the student. Individualization is based on the right to equality. Each student has the right to be supported in order to reach a shared level of knowledge and competencies, which is considered to be essential for everyone. Personalized activities are tailored on the specificity and uniqueness of each student. They consider their specific needs, potentialities, and talents. What makes them different? It is based on developing their inner natural talents, following their preferences and promoting their self. It is based on the right to diversity. Each student has the right to be supported to unveil their full potential. That's what inclusive education is. It means creating a system of methodologies and tools that can guarantee individualization and personalization, aimed at all students, also students with special needs. The focus is on creating a context that welcomes the diversity of all students. Let's focus on inclusive education tools. Didactic mediators are the most efficient tool for inclusive education. Didactic mediators are the means through which knowledge can be communicated from the teacher to the students. It is the door through which the students come to contact with the object of knowledge, determining how they interact with it. The mediator manipulates the cultural object. It wraps it in a form that can or cannot fit the student's learning style. We can distinguish 4 different types of mediators. Active mediators are ways of presenting knowledge throughout direct experience. For instance, presenting the concept of gravity by showing how an object falls to the ground. Iconic mediators are ways of presenting knowledge throughout visual and spatial languages. For instance, a geography map, photographs, conceptual maps, or images. Analogic mediators are ways of presenting knowledge that rely on simulation, role-play, and games. For instance, studying history of art throughout a memory card game. Symbolic mediators are ways of presenting knowledge through conventional and universal codes of representation, language, for instance, an oral lesson. Did you notice something? Starting from active mediators and going on, the mediator becomes more and more abstract and disconnected from concrete reality. The choice of mediator, which is the choice of how to present the knowledge, is fundamental. It could be more or less suitable to each student's cognitive style. Imagine a student who has a good visual memory, having only textual material available. Starting from the mediators, we can identify many strategies for inclusive education, relying on active participation, visual tools, analogic experiences, or symbolic supports. From highlighting textual content to creating maps, from organizing the content in keywords to storytelling. Now it's your turn. Think of some tools teachers use and fill this mediators checklist. What type of mediators are they? Can they be inclusive? Thank you for your attention.